So we're still in the Christmas season, from Epiphany until the baptism of the Lord this coming Sunday. We still hear, there's little hints of the Christmas season. Land of Zebulun, land of Naphtali, the way of the sea beyond the Jordan, Galilee of the Gentiles. The people who sit in darkness have seen a great light. Still talking about that light, not just a star, but Jesus Christ, who is the light to the world. So much so that today, the feast that the woman that we honor, whose feast day is today, St. Elizabeth Ann Seton, Elizabeth Ann Bailey Seton, married her husband, and he was wealthy, he's Episcopalian, and he contracted tuberculosis. So they took a trip to Italy, and there he got worse and he died. And so there she was, basically at the hands of other people in this Italian family, very Catholic, of course, welcomed her to their home. And there she realized the true faith. And when she came home, she became a Roman Catholic, to the chagrin of her family, who disowned her and all her friends. She tried to start a school in New York City where she lived, and that didn't happen because everybody had rejected her. So she traveled to Emmitsburg, Maryland. It's a place close to my heart, because after all, that's where Mount St. Mary's Seminary is. And the longest time, from the time I entered the seminary there, was always the tradition of the Mounties, the students from Mount St. Mary's, and the girls from St. Joseph Academy, where the school that St. Elizabeth founded. She already founded this school, St. Joseph's School. It's now the National Fire Academy, believe it or not, in Emmitsburg. But when she founded it, she also founded the Daughters of Charity in the United States, in America. I know it says in the history books, and even I was looking at it again today, it says she founded the Sisters of Charity. That's not right. She founded the Daughters of Charity here in America, and long after her death, she died at the tender age of 46 in 1821. In 1850, they joined the Sisters of Charity. They make all the difference in the world. But when you go down to Emmitsburg, and of course her shrine is there. Her mortal remains remain there, and there's a museum there, a small museum. But in this, well, it had been a wilderness. Even when I was there, it was still all rural. Now it's getting more and more become suburbs of Washington, D.C. But nonetheless, there's where she went. And she used to climb the mountain, Mary's Mountain in Emmitsburg, where she and her sisters would find peace and solace as they prayed. And when she was in trouble, she'd go and see John Dubois, who was the founder of Mount St. Mary's in Emmitsburg in 1808. The two of them created these two schools. And she was a great witness to her daughters, if you will. Not only her own flesh and blood daughters who joined the order, but also all those daughters of charity who would join her. She had a love for the Lord and a love to serve Him by teaching, as a mother, of course, but as a teacher. And so she founded that school that young ladies and girls would come to, and they would be able to learn more about Christ Jesus, as well as those things of the world. And so today we thank God for the light, His light that shone in St. Elizabeth Ann Seton, first American-born saint, and in you and me. We come here today because His light shines in us. And we're called then to also go out and bear witness to that light by what we think, say, and do, just following in the footsteps of Christ, but also St. Elizabeth Ann Seton. It was said, if you ever go down there, and I hope you do, it's a small museum, but nonetheless, and there's a pair of dancing slippers that are there. St. Elizabeth Ann Seton loved to dance. She loved to go to parties. And she was, quote unquote, the belle of the ball in many ways. But when she um, find Christ Jesus, she danced for him and him alone, and her service, loving service to her daughters, all those students. And so we thank God for her good example. We thank God, too, for those who come to the faith. Where I'm thinking of our catechumens, those folks that are learning more about the faith, who may come into the faith this coming Easter, and all those year after year who do the same thing. Converts to the faith, but nonetheless, they bear witness by the way they reflect the light of Christ to a still waiting world.